Hi, I'm Sunetra Choudhury. And when I was a kid, there used to be a series of extremely popular books called Tell Me Why. It was a thick encyclopedia-like volume which answered all kinds of questions that young people may have. How do we know the earth is round? Why is the sky blue? Questions that curious kids may have explained in a conversational style with even a nice picture thrown in. I love those books so much, and many of them from the series. And I thought, as a journalist working at a time when there's an information overload, why can't I provide that kind of clarity? That's my inspiration for this new series of videos that I'll be doing. Every week, we'll drop an episode answering a key question about a topic that's in the news. If it's a topic that I don't have expertise on, I'll make sure I get an expert to explain it to me and convey the answers to you through them. So either way, at the end of my short videos, hopefully, you'll be wiser. So if you've been watching the news from Mumbai or Maharashtra in general, there is a question that does arise from news developments there. If you watched Maharashtra Navnirman Sena or MNS activists slap people around for speaking in Hindi, if you watched Chief Minister Devendra Fadnavis trying to double up explaining the government resolution, GR, making Hindi the third language in schools, you may say, tell me why Maharashtra language war has BJP sweating or why this issue is simply such a big deal. Well, let me tell you why. First up, this whole idea of Hindi as a third language is integral to the BJP's ideology, and they made it a key part of the national education policy of 2020. This order, which Devendra Fadnavis's government issued on April 16th, before they reversed it on June 29th, was part of the ruling party's plan to implement NEP, which says that students can choose up to 3 languages, but 2 should be native Indian languages. Now, you may think, what's wrong with that? But till now, states like Maharashtra and Tamil Nadu have 2 languages from this crucial period of class 1 to class 5. That's their mother tongue, here Marathi, and English, so that the kids can learn a language that goes beyond borders. Hindi would come in from class 5 onwards. The insistence on adding Hindi is what created this backlash, which even central BJP leaders now admit was an error. Now, also making it a big deal was the fact that between making that error and fixing it, i.e. withdrawing this government order, the Fadnavis government allowed 74 crucial days to pass. Now, this allowed for all kinds of trouble to have time to simmer for them. Remember, they weren't starting from a position of comfort. Ever since Fadnavis' government was sworn in, he's had to deal with a sulking deputy, Sena rebel leader Eknath Shinde. Now, Shinde has greater reason to be awkward. In the Shiv Sena's legacy of being protector for Marathi Manus, he is looking like he's batting for the wrong team. No wonder there's a lot of speculation about whether his fellow partyman and Transport Minister Pratap Sarnaik landed up at Raj Thakre's protest against the Hindi decision with his blessing or not. Either way, the answer to your question about the significance of this language war is illustrated by just one single image, that of Sunday's rally with estranged brothers Uddhav and Raj Thakre sharing the stage. The brothers' reunion after 2 decades isn't something that anyone's writing off. Whoever you speak to in Mumbai will tell you that what this means is that the Uddhav factions and thereby the opposition's share of votes will certainly go up. The Thakres who were written off are now back in play before the municipal elections at the end of the year. And the other Sena faction, which is the ruling Mahayuti, has ended up with an identity crisis. Why? Because the political signaling is that it was the Thakres that stood up for 83 million Marathi speakers, while Shinde, along with the BJP government, was part of Team Hindi, represented by the likes of those like Jharkhand MP Nishikant Dubey. Of course, there's 6 months left for the much-delayed polls for civic bodies in the state, pending in several areas since March 2022. So the ruling party is hoping that this moment where supporters are feeling impassioned and the Marathi pride feelings being hurt will subside. But there's another election that some others don't rule out being a factor. Opposition leaders are asking, was the government order advocating Hindi learning a ploy to win some brownie points in the impending Bihar elections? It's far-fetched, but if so, it seems to have gone very, very wrong. The BJP, of course, feels that at the end of the day, Raj Thackeray has limited electoral appeal. Compared to Eknath Shinde's 12% vote share and Uddhav's 9% in the last election, he has a mere 1.5%. However, numbers never tell the whole story in politics. Sometimes a feeling can carry an election, and there's no feeling or emotion deeper than the one that's linked to the languages we speak. That's why it's very difficult to also see Raj Thakray's men slap those who dared to speak in Hindi in the state. Is this really the alternative that former Chief Minister Uddhav Thackeray was promising? Politicians talk about catering to the new age aspirations of voters, their children's desire to do well in the world. But it seems that somewhere along the way, they can get their calculation completely wrong. Well, hopefully I told you why this issue was trending. Do let me know what next week's issue should be by commenting on this video wherever you were watching it. Till then, goodbye.
$25 करोड़ गरीब गरीबी को परास्त करके बाहर निकले.
For the good of our nation, let's work together and let's truly make America great again.
The fastest news breaks.
Requested PM saying that look, you will have to speak to Putin and to Zelensky.
The biggest news makers.
The relationship with India is probably the most important bilateral relationship the US will have for the rest of this century.
The capital delivered quite an election result today.
Expert analysis.
The million-dollar question today is how to stop this dance of death.
Ground reports.
I'm standing at the crossroad of the Kumbh Mela. Behind me are more than 100 entry ghats.
Long-form interviews.
Exclusionary politics is reflected in Manipur case as well. You don't bother because this is a small state.
Deep dive into burning issues.
It's often said DRC could be the richest country in the whole world. It's because of what sits underneath.
Why exactly did the US topple the Sheikh Hasina government?
HT videos. We don't just break news, we break it down.